Our next speaker is Rob Ewing. Rob is president of New Berlin-based Wenthe-Davidson, a metal fabricator that specializes in custom tubular productions, electric motor and generator housings, custom pressure vessels, emission systems components for the diesel market, and other value-added services. Please welcome Rob.
Hello. Thanks for coming this afternoon. So we started with humble beginnings. There were two gentlemen, Bill Wenthe, who was a talented engineer and fabricator, and Arthur Davidson, who is the son of the co-founder of Harley-Davidson with a business mind. They got together with a plan to create a business to do fabrication for the area. And what they became involved with is the electric motor industry. So in the electric motors, they were making the units out of cast iron in the past, and they were approached to come up with a lighter and more cost-effective model. And they came up with a rolled ring, which you can see in the brochure and the information below. So the interlocking technology and everything else was born, and most of these motors are still used in industry today, although some have changed with technology. So with that technology has come the use of automation and, in some case, robotics. But more and more complexity lends itself to other processes. As you can see in the picture shown, there's more than just your steel motor and generator housings. How did we implement automation lately and technology? One of the ways was with our scheduling, kind of pairing off what Sarah was talking about. We have done a long time the EDI order entry. But using that information onto the shop floor was incredibly important for our success. One of the first steps in automation is getting the information flow. So what we had was time cards out on the floor, time card racks, kind of shown in the picture there. And they were good at holding a card that told you which bin to grab the routing from. And when scheduling would come down to the floor with an expedite job, they'd reshuffle everything. Now we have live data on the floor, and what we looked at was just how we could service our customers better and not have the constant running between planning and the shop floor, better scheduling, better data collection, and all in all, we had about a $60,000 investment planned with the computers, but as it took off, we started putting it in every area on the shop floor, anything that was a control point. And within those areas, what we did is we started slow. We started in one area and we failed fast. Operators came up with things that didn't work. People from the office were frustrated, and we worked through the problems till we came up with a more optimal solution, and then we launched it more universally through the shop. So in the beginning, there were a lot of people that had worked on this and had some ideas, but once we pulled a team together, had some people criticize it and give some good feedback, we were able to launch it quite quickly. It took about a year and a half to make it through the shop floor, but now orders that come in via EDI are completed to the shop floor and or are put out to the shop floor in minutes instead of hours, and sometimes depending on the time of day, it took till the next morning. And expedites are handled through making it a priority on the screen. The nice thing with this system too is we could put our prints, sketches, different things on the floor for the operators and also record their labor data. So when you're looking for a job, you could see quickly where it went. From a tracking standpoint, from an ISO standpoint, it's been huge for the company. That was kind of an example of a less expensive automation program. But we've embarked on the more expensive and we'll call it more standard program, and that's with metal cutting. So we produce about 90,000 pounds of steel per day, and we bring in about 90,000 pounds of steel per day. The way that it's been done since the 50s is with coil cutting, shearing, and then running through an individual press that is shown on the left side of the presentation. And that press would have an expensive tool made by a tool maker. It would punch one series of vents or parts of the process. Eventually in the 90s, we moved to CNC turret punches, and that was an expensive investment, but it took a lot of the process problems out of it. They were running off of CNC programs, a lot more reliable, but they still have a pretty high cost to them. But what this has done is also created the noise of punching out on the shop floor, and it has some process variation of its own. Anytime we're dealing with other automation, and we have cobots, robots, CNC work centers throughout, the more accurate of a part that you feed one of these processes, the better it can handle with less variation. The next phase, and this is an incredibly expensive journey, so it's not like the information system, it is going to laser cutting. What we did is we got out and we looked at, first we tried some of our processes, made sure that it worked on our product, especially the interlocking components, and we pulled a group of people together, engineers, people from the shop floor, supervisors, quality people, and we went out and looked at some of these systems. They're very, very costly when you look at it from one end, but when you look at the turret punches and the things that it can do the work of, it becomes more of a cost savings adventure. But really it's on running lights out with little variation is what we were seeking. So we ended up choosing the Trumpf laser platform and the Stopa material handling system, and we'll be installing that very late this year, early next year. Hope to have it up in the first quarter. But we're going to take some of our processes that were historically done on coil-fed and sheared equipment and put them into the newest technology that we could find that worked for our application. So we'll see payback on that through nesting on the sheets as well. But it's just one of those more standardized things you think of when you get into automation as compared to just the information flow. Thank you.